The FBI just arrested 3 men, and one of them is your soulmate. Open it quickly. God says, my child, before fear speaks louder than wisdom, I need you to hear my voice. What has reached your eyes today is not an invitation to panic but an invitation to pause. There is a reason your heart became unsettled the moment you saw these words. I know how quickly your mind tries to fill every silence with frightening possibilities. I know how easily uncertainty can become a burden you carry alone. But you are not alone now. I am with you, and I have always been with you. Listen carefully, because there is a deeper truth hidden beneath the surface of what seems shocking. The story before you is not about sensational headlines. It is about discernment, growth, mercy, and the quiet work I perform within hearts long before anyone else notices. My beloved child, when people hear that someone has been arrested, they often believe the entire story has already been written. Yet I see what no human eye can fully understand. I see every choice that led to a moment. I see every wound that was never spoken aloud. I see every opportunity for repentance, every lesson waiting to be learned, and every path that can still change through humility and truth. That is why I ask you not to let assumptions become your guide. Let wisdom lead you instead. Your heart has been searching for certainty, but I am teaching you something greater than certainty. I am teaching you trust. Perhaps these words stirred thoughts about someone you deeply care about. Perhaps they awakened old fears that love always ends in disappointment or confusion. I know what you have carried. I know the silent questions you have whispered when no one else could hear them. I saw every tear that fell because you wondered whether the people meant for your life were moving toward light or away from it. I never abandoned you in those moments. Even when you believed nothing was changing, I was quietly shaping your heart into one that could recognize truth instead of illusion. But there is something even deeper. My child, what truly determines the future of a relationship is not a dramatic event or a frightening headline. It is the willingness of 2 hearts to grow in honesty, accountability, compassion, and wisdom. A relationship cannot flourish if one soul refuses to face the truth, and it cannot remain healthy if fear becomes stronger than love guided by integrity. This is why I sometimes allow uncomfortable moments to reveal what comfort was hiding. Not because I desire pain for you, but because I desire freedom for you. My child, listen carefully. You have spent too much energy believing that every unexpected event is a sign that hope has disappeared. Yet many of the greatest transformations begin when familiar paths come to an end. What seems like interruption can become protection. What feels like delay can become preparation. What appears to be loss can become the doorway through which healing finally enters. Your soul already sensed this, even if your mind struggled to understand it. That quiet feeling inside you has not been trying to frighten you. It has been inviting you to draw closer to me. I know there are moments when you have questioned your own worth because of the actions of others. You wondered whether you were not enough, whether you should have tried harder, spoken differently, or waited longer. Release those burdens into my hands. You are deeply loved. Your value has never depended on another person's choices. I created you with purpose long before anyone entered your life, and my purpose for you remains steady even when circumstances change. Do not confuse another person's journey with your identity. They are responsible for their growth, just as you are responsible for yours. This is where everything begins to change. Instead of asking whether someone will become the person you hope they will be, begin asking whether your own heart is becoming more peaceful, more compassionate, more discerning, and more anchored in truth. Growth that begins within you cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. The peace I place inside you is stronger than the noise surrounding you. The wisdom I plant within you will continue guiding your steps long after confusion fades. I am not leading you toward fear. I am leading you toward maturity, clarity, and hope. Beloved one, remember this always. Headlines can capture attention, but they can never reveal the complete story of a human soul. I alone know every chapter that has been written and every chapter that still remains. Walk forward without surrendering your peace to speculation. Continue choosing kindness without abandoning wisdom. Continue offering forgiveness without ignoring truth. Continue believing that genuine transformation is possible while understanding that healthy relationships are built through mutual respect, accountability, and emotional readiness. Trust me with what you cannot control, and keep becoming the person I created you to be. I have never forgotten you. I am still guiding you. I am still protecting you. And every step you take with faith, humility, and love brings you closer to the peace your heart has been seeking all along. God says, "My beloved child, remain with me a little longer, because what I am revealing is not meant to satisfy your curiosity alone. It is meant to strengthen your heart." Too often you have searched for answers outside yourself while I have been quietly planting them within you. You wondered why certain events captured your attention with such force, why certain stories seemed to awaken emotions you thought had long been buried. It is because your soul has been asking deeper questions than your mind has been able to express. You have not simply been searching for another person. You have been searching for peace, for clarity, for a place where your heart can finally rest without constantly preparing for disappointment. I know every silent prayer you have spoken. I know every hope you tucked away because you feared hoping again would only lead to more pain. Yet even then, I remained beside you. I did not leave when your confidence became weak. I did not turn away when your faith trembled. I watched over you with the same love that has carried you from the very beginning. There is another truth I must reveal. Growth often begins in places where certainty disappears. You have believed that if only every answer were placed before you, your heart would finally be at peace. But peace does not come from knowing every detail of tomorrow. Peace comes from trusting me enough to take today's step with courage. That is why I have been teaching you patience. Patience is not empty waiting. It is quiet confidence that my wisdom reaches further than your understanding. Every season that seemed delayed was preparing something within you that could not be formed in comfort alone. Compassion became deeper. Discernment became sharper. Your heart became more capable of recognizing genuine love instead of simply chasing familiar feelings. My child, I also know the burden you have carried from past disappointments. Sometimes you have mistaken another person's inability to love wisely as proof that you were difficult to love. That has never been the truth. Your worth has never been measured by another person's readiness or immaturity. I formed you with dignity before anyone knew your name. I placed value within you that cannot be increased by praise or reduced by rejection. The world may encourage you to chase approval, but I invite you to walk in quiet confidence. When you understand who you are in my presence, fear begins to lose its grip. You stop begging for acceptance because you already know you are deeply loved. But there is something even deeper. Relationships become healthy when two people are willing to grow, to listen, to forgive wisely, and to take responsibility for their own actions. No lasting bond is built upon fear or control. It is built upon honesty, humility, kindness, and respect. If someone refuses those foundations, it is not your responsibility to carry the entire weight of the relationship. You cannot heal another person's heart through your own exhaustion. You cannot create trust where truth is continually ignored. My desire for you is not merely companionship. My desire is that you become someone whose heart is anchored in wisdom, whose peace is not easily shaken, and whose love is guided by discernment rather than desperation. Your soul already sensed this. That uneasy feeling you experienced was not always meant to warn you about another person. Sometimes it was inviting you to pay attention to yourself. Were you abandoning your own peace to keep someone else comfortable? Were you silencing your own needs because you feared being misunderstood? Were you carrying responsibilities that never belonged to you? These are difficult questions, my child, but they lead toward freedom. I do not ask them to condemn you. I ask them because I desire healing that reaches the deepest places within your heart. I know how often you replay conversations in your mind, wondering whether different words could have changed everything. Release those endless circles of regret. Learn from yesterday, but do not become imprisoned by it. Wisdom remembers lessons without becoming trapped by old pain. Every experience, whether joyful or difficult, has contributed something valuable to the person you are becoming. Even moments that felt wasted taught you compassion. Even seasons of loneliness strengthened your resilience. Even unanswered prayers shaped your ability to trust beyond what you could immediately see. This is where everything begins to change. Imagine waking each morning without allowing fear to determine the direction of your thoughts. Imagine beginning your day with gratitude instead of anxiety. Imagine looking into the future without assuming the worst. This transformation does not happen all at once. It grows quietly, one faithful step after another. Each time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, courage over fear, wisdom over impulse, and hope over despair, your heart becomes stronger. The change may seem small in a single moment, but over time it becomes the foundation of an entirely different life. My beloved child, never confuse temporary uncertainty with permanent defeat. Storms pass. Seasons change. Hearts mature. People learn. Sometimes reconciliation becomes possible through mutual growth. Sometimes separate paths become the wisest choice. You do not need to force an ending or guarantee a beginning. Your responsibility is to walk faithfully with integrity, allowing my wisdom to guide your decisions instead of fear guiding your reactions. When your motives remain rooted in love and truth, you will discover a confidence that does not depend upon controlling every outcome. There is another truth I must reveal. Comparison has quietly stolen much of your joy. You have looked at the lives of others and wondered why their journey appeared easier than yours. Yet you have seen only a few pages of stories whose entire chapters remain hidden. Do not measure your life against appearances. Measure it by the growth taking place within your own heart. A peaceful heart is richer than endless recognition. A clear conscience is more valuable than temporary admiration. A faithful spirit is stronger than popularity that quickly fades. I have been teaching you to recognize the difference between urgency and wisdom. Fear demands immediate answers. Wisdom waits until understanding becomes clearer. Fear imagines countless possibilities. Wisdom responds to what is actually true. Fear whispers that you are alone. I remind you that I have never abandoned you. Every day I continue inviting you away from confusion and into greater clarity. The more time you spend in my presence, the less power uncertainty will hold over your thoughts. My child, you are becoming stronger than you realize. Not because life has suddenly become easy, but because you have continued moving forward even when the path was difficult. Strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is choosing kindness after disappointment. Strength is remaining honest when dishonesty appears easier. Strength is protecting your peace without closing your heart to compassion. Every quiet act of faith matters. Every decision to grow matters. Every moment you choose hope instead of bitterness matters. What happened next mattered more than you realize. The greatest change was never happening around you. It was happening within you. While you waited for circumstances to improve, your character was being refined. While you searched for certainty, wisdom was quietly taking root. While you hoped for someone else to change, you were becoming more patient, more understanding, and more resilient. This inner transformation is one of the greatest gifts I can give, because it remains with you regardless of changing seasons. My beloved child, continue walking with confidence, not because you know exactly what tomorrow holds, but because you know the one who walks beside you today. Let your heart remain open to learning. Let your spirit remain gentle. Let your words bring healing wherever possible. Protect your peace, honor your values, and remember that love guided by wisdom is never wasted. I will continue leading you one faithful step at a time. Whenever uncertainty returns, come back to my presence. Whenever fear grows louder, remember my promises of steadfast love. Whenever hope feels distant, look again at how far you have already come. You are not forgotten. You are protected. You are growing in grace. And with every new day, you are becoming more fully the person you were created to be, walking forward with humility, courage, and a quiet confidence that no circumstance can take away. God says, "My child, stay with me a little longer, because your heart has not reached this moment by accident." Long before you pressed play, long before these words found you, I knew the questions that would be resting quietly inside your spirit. I knew there would be moments when you smiled in front of others while carrying silent burdens that no one could see. I knew there would be nights when your mind refused to become still, replaying old memories, imagining different endings, and wondering whether the future would ever feel lighter than the past. I saw every one of those moments, and not once did I turn away from you. Even when you believed you were walking alone, my presence remained closer than your next breath. I have never measured your life by your mistakes or by the disappointments you have experienced. I have always looked deeper, seeing the person you are becoming through every challenge you have faced. My beloved child, there is something I want you to understand about fear. Fear often arrives wearing the disguise of certainty. It tells you that nothing will ever change. It convinces you that yesterday will always define tomorrow. It whispers that the pain you have carried will continue forever. But fear has never been the author of truth. It only repeats the echoes of old wounds. My voice is different. I remind you that healing is possible even when you cannot yet measure your progress. I remind you that growth often happens so quietly that you only recognize it when you look back and realize you no longer react the way you once did. You no longer break as easily. You no longer lose yourself trying to satisfy every expectation around you. That is not because life suddenly became easy. It is because I have been strengthening you from within. But there is something even deeper. Many people spend their lives searching for signs while overlooking the quiet transformation taking place inside their own hearts. They wait for dramatic moments, yet overlook the gentle wisdom that grows through ordinary days. My child, never underestimate the value of small faithful steps. Every time you choose patience instead of anger, compassion instead of resentment, honesty instead of pretense, you are becoming more aligned with the purpose I placed within you. Great change is rarely built in a single moment. It is built through countless quiet decisions that no one else may ever notice. I notice them. I see every effort you make to become kinder, wiser, and more peaceful. None of it is wasted. There is another truth I must reveal. You have sometimes mistaken waiting for weakness. You believe that because your answers did not arrive immediately, perhaps your prayers had gone unheard. Yet my silence has never meant my absence. There are seasons when answers arrive slowly because your heart is being prepared to receive them wisely. If every door opened the moment you desired it, you might walk into places before your spirit had grown strong enough to remain there with peace. Preparation is one of my greatest acts of love. I do not simply lead you toward opportunities. I prepare your character so those opportunities become blessings instead of burdens. My child, listen carefully. You have spent too much time believing that your value depends upon how others respond to you. One person's inability to appreciate your kindness does not reduce its worth. One person's misunderstanding does not erase your integrity. One person's rejection does not rewrite the truth about who you are. You belong neither to praise nor to criticism. You belong to the purpose for which I created you. When this truth settles deeply within your heart, you become free from constantly chasing approval. You begin living from conviction instead of insecurity. That freedom cannot be purchased. It grows through trust, humility, and the quiet confidence that my love for you remains constant. Your soul already sensed this. The peace you have been longing for has never been hiding somewhere beyond your reach. It begins when you stop carrying responsibilities that were never yours to hold. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot force understanding where someone refuses to listen. You cannot heal wounds another person is unwilling to acknowledge. What you can do is continue choosing honesty, compassion, accountability, and wisdom. You can continue protecting your own heart without allowing bitterness to take root. You can continue believing in goodness without becoming naive. This balance is where emotional maturity begins. I know what you have carried. I know how exhausting it has been to replay every conversation, wondering if different words would have changed the outcome. I know the weight of unanswered questions that still linger inside your thoughts. But my beloved child, some questions lose their power when you no longer need every answer before moving forward. Closure is not always found through explanations. Sometimes it is found through acceptance. Sometimes it arrives the moment you realize that your peace is too precious to remain tied to uncertainties that may never fully resolve. Accepting what you cannot change does not mean giving up. It means making room for the life that still awaits you. This is where everything begins to change. Instead of asking why certain events happened, begin asking what wisdom they have left behind. Instead of allowing disappointment to become your identity, allow it to become your teacher. Every difficult season has offered lessons that comfort could never provide. You have learned resilience through hardship. You have learned empathy through sorrow. You have learned gratitude by recognizing how precious genuine kindness truly is. These lessons have quietly become part of your character, shaping you into someone who understands both strength and compassion. My beloved child, there will always be voices trying to convince you that urgency is the same as importance. They will tell you that every decision must be made immediately, that every uncertainty demands instant resolution. But wisdom moves differently. Wisdom listens before speaking. Wisdom reflects before reacting. Wisdom values truth more than speed. When you allow your heart to become still in my presence, clarity often appears where confusion once seemed overwhelming. Do not be afraid of slowing down long enough to hear my guidance. The loudest voice is not always the wisest one. There is another truth I must reveal. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Forgiveness does not require pretending that pain never existed. It does not erase healthy boundaries. It does not ask you to ignore repeated harm. Forgiveness simply releases your heart from becoming permanently attached to bitterness. It allows healing to continue without allowing resentment to become your constant companion. My child, your future deserves more space than your past. Do not allow old wounds to occupy the rooms where hope is trying to grow. You are becoming stronger than you realize. Every challenge you have faced has revealed strengths you did not know you possessed. Every moment you chose kindness after disappointment demonstrated courage greater than anger ever could. Every time you remained faithful to your values despite pressure to compromise, your character became more deeply rooted. Others may only notice the visible parts of your journey, but I have witnessed every hidden victory, every quiet decision, every unseen act of perseverance. I celebrate those moments because they reveal the beauty of a heart that continues growing even through difficulty. My child, remember that genuine peace is not the absence of uncertainty. Genuine peace is confidence that you do not face uncertainty alone. There will always be questions you cannot immediately answer. There will always be seasons that require patience. Yet you need not fear them. Walk one faithful step at a time. Let gratitude become your daily habit. Let compassion shape your relationships. Let wisdom guide your decisions. Let humility keep your heart teachable. These are treasures that no circumstance can steal from you. As you continue forward, resist the temptation to measure your life only by visible outcomes. Some of the greatest victories cannot be seen from the outside. A calmer heart is a victory. Greater self-respect is a victory. The ability to forgive wisely is a victory. Choosing hope after disappointment is a victory. Learning to trust again without abandoning discernment is a victory. These quiet transformations are evidence that my work within you continues, even when external circumstances seem slow to change. My beloved child, I have never expected perfection from you. I have only invited you to keep walking with me. When you stumble, rise again. When you become uncertain, seek wisdom. When fear returns, remember how many times I have already carried you through moments you once believed would overwhelm you. You have survived more than you thought possible. You have grown more than you realize. You have become more compassionate because of what you endured, not despite it. So continue your journey with calm confidence. Protect your peace without hardening your heart. Love with wisdom instead of fear. Hope without demanding certainty. Learn without becoming discouraged by mistakes. Trust that every season has something meaningful to teach you. I remain beside you through each step, guiding you gently toward greater maturity, deeper peace, and a future shaped not by fear, but by truth, grace, and the quiet strength that has been growing inside you all along. You are deeply loved. You are not forgotten. You are protected. And as you continue walking forward with faith and humility, you will discover again and again that my presence has been your greatest source of strength from the very beginning. God says, my beloved child, as this moment draws to a close, I want you to leave with something far more valuable than answers to every question. I want you to leave with a heart that is steadier than when you first arrived. Many people spend their lives searching for certainty about every tomorrow, yet overlook the gift of peace that is available today. I have not called you to live imprisoned by endless possibilities or fearful imaginations. I have called you to walk with wisdom, compassion, courage, and quiet trust. That is where your strength has always been growing. Look back for a moment, my child. Remember the days you believed you would never recover from disappointment. Remember the nights when your heart felt too heavy to carry. Remember the moments when you wondered whether anyone truly understood the silent battles taking place inside you. Yet here you are. You have continued moving forward. You have learned lessons that comfort alone could never have taught you. You have become gentler without becoming weak. You have become wiser without losing your capacity to love. You have become stronger without allowing hardship to make your heart cold. That transformation did not happen by accident. Every season has quietly shaped you into someone with deeper compassion, greater discernment, and a steadier spirit. My child, there is one final truth I want you to carry wherever you go. Never allow fear to become the storyteller of your future. Fear only speaks about what might happen. Wisdom teaches you how to live faithfully in the present. Hope reminds you that every new sunrise carries opportunities that yesterday could not provide. Do not surrender today's peace because of tomorrow's uncertainty. The future is not built through anxiety. It is built through the faithful decisions you make one day at a time. Perhaps you still wonder why certain paths crossed your life while others quietly disappeared. Perhaps you still carry unanswered questions about relationships, missed opportunities, or unexpected endings. Release those questions into my hands. Some answers arrive through time. Others arrive through growth. Still others are replaced by a peace so deep that the questions themselves no longer hold power over your heart. Trust that you do not need to understand everything immediately in order to continue living wisely. My beloved child, if someone is truly meant to walk beside you for a season of life, let that journey be built upon honesty, mutual respect, emotional maturity, accountability, patience, and kindness. Never settle for a relationship that requires you to abandon your peace or your values. Love grows strongest where truth is welcomed, where forgiveness is sincere, where both hearts continue learning, and where neither person expects perfection from the other. Continue becoming the kind of person who brings light, encouragement, integrity, and compassion wherever you go. In doing so, you honor both yourself and the purpose I placed within you. There is another truth I must leave with you before these words come to an end. Gratitude has the power to transform the way you see your entire life. When you begin noticing the quiet blessings surrounding you, your perspective changes. The kindness of a stranger. The support of a trusted friend. The beauty of a peaceful morning. The wisdom gained through difficult seasons. The strength you never knew you possessed until life required it. These are reminders that grace often arrives quietly. Do not overlook them while searching only for extraordinary moments. Sometimes the greatest miracles are found in ordinary days lived with an open heart. My child, forgive yourself for the times you believed you were falling behind. Your journey has never been a race against anyone else. Each person walks a different path, learns different lessons, and grows through different experiences. Do not compare your chapter to someone else's page. Instead, continue becoming more patient, more humble, more generous, and more grounded with each passing day. That kind of growth will serve you long after temporary success fades away. Whenever uncertainty returns, remember what I have spoken to your heart today. You are not forgotten. You are not walking alone. You are not defined by your past mistakes or by another person's choices. You are deeply loved. You are protected. You are capable of healing. You are capable of growing. You are capable of beginning again whenever life requires a new chapter. My grace is not exhausted by your imperfections, and my compassion does not disappear because of your doubts. I remain faithful even when your confidence becomes fragile. As you leave this message, carry peace instead of panic. Carry wisdom instead of fear. Carry hope instead of despair. Let your words become kinder. Let your choices become wiser. Let your heart remain open without becoming unguarded. Continue learning. Continue forgiving. Continue growing. Continue trusting that each faithful step matters, even when its purpose is not immediately visible. My beloved child, the path ahead may still hold questions, but it also holds opportunities to become more fully the person you were created to be. Walk forward with calm confidence. Let love be guided by wisdom. Let faith be stronger than fear. Let gratitude shape your days. Let mercy soften your heart. And whenever you feel uncertain, remember that you do not have to face life alone. I am with you in moments of joy and in moments of struggle. I am with you when doors open and when they close. I am with you when you celebrate and when you quietly begin again. My love for you is constant, my presence is steadfast, and my desire is that you continue moving forward with peace, humility, courage, and hope. Go now with a quiet heart, my child. Trust the lessons you have learned. Honor the growth that has taken place within you. Choose truth over fear, compassion over bitterness, wisdom over haste, and hope over despair. The future does not belong to anxiety. It belongs to those who continue walking faithfully, one step at a time. You are deeply loved, you are never forgotten, and you are becoming who you were created to be. Rest in that truth, and let peace guide you wherever your journey leads.